What's up, everybody? Looks like we're live. Wait a couple seconds for you guys to filter in here. Looks like my mic's not plugged in, so let's go ahead and get that fixed. Hello, Sam. Nice to see you. A discussion on what type of player the Giants need at each position. All right, let's go ahead. Let me get this mic fixed. And there we go. Audio should be much better now, but what's up, everyone? We're going to be doing a little live stream here talking about the Giants. I'm going to take your questions. And if any of you are interested in coming on and chatting with me live, more than happy to invite you on here and have a real face-to-face one-on-one discussion. Let me know, comment in the comment section if you want to hop on, and you can come right on and chat with me. But let's go ahead and discuss this question from Sam Fountain. Shout out Sam, being our first guest to leave a question. He said, I would very much like a discussion on what type of players the Giants need at each position of the current offensive and defensive scheme. So, what you have with these offensive and defensive schemes is basically on the offensive side of the ball, you have a spread coast offense. So, it's a lot of West Coast principles from the Kansas City Chiefs. That's what Andy Reid likes to run, a real West Coast. But over in Buffalo, there was a emphasis on running the spread offense from Brian Dable. So, it's a little bit of a mixture between the spread offense and the West Coast offense. So, basically, you're going to see a lot of short, quick passing principles, but with a real light personnel package, meaning you're not going to see a lot of 2, 3 tight ends on the fields. You'll see a lot of 11 personnel, 1 tight end, 3 receivers, 1 running back. You'll see that rather frequently, but you'll see that in a way where it's a lot of short, quick passing concepts to get the ball out of Daniel Jones's hands real fast because they don't have the best offensive line in New York, as we all know. So that's pretty much the deal with the offensive scheme. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, Wink Martindale loves to blitz, and he loves to play man defense, and he loves to utilize a single high safety. So what players do the Giants need for that? Well, you need some really strong physical man-to-man cornerbacks on the outside, a physical run-defending slot cornerback, and you need some really great pass rushers. And more than anything, the Giants need linebackers who can stop the run. If you go back and you look at the Baltimore Ravens defense with Wink Martindale, I want to say it was from 2018 to 2021. In that time frame, that's when Wink Martindale was there. They had really good linebacker play, and their linebackers were very athletic and very good against the run. So what the Giants need in this defense is athletic linebackers who can get in there and stop the run, because right now that is what they're missing, as evidenced by the multiple games this year where the Giants gave up over 200 rushing yards on the ground. So that cannot continue to happen if the Giants want to continue winning games and making it to the postseason. So number one thing that I think the Giants need to address on the defensive side of the ball, it's not cornerbacks, definitely not pass rusher, nothing on the defensive line. It's that linebacker position, and they got to find some guys who can stop the run. Again, Wink Martindale was always known for having a very good run defense. So it was really surprising this year when, well, this defense looked great at times, but at other times it was just pitiful against the run. So I think that's really what he's missing on that defensive side of the ball. We know they got pass rushers galore on the edge. Azeez Ojulari, Kayvon Thibodeau. They definitely need to add some depth behind those guys. I don't trust Tommen Fox, I think his name was. I don't know. They had some randoms out there when Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau were injured. So, I mean, Jahad Ward is a great run defender, but again, you need some better pass rushers behind Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari. But defensive line is great. But what the Giants need to do, if they're looking into the secondary, they're going to want to find a rangy free safety for that single high coverage. And I mean, Xavier McKinney's good at that, but he's also good at getting in the box. So you want a little bit of a rotation there. That's if they don't re-sign Julian Love. I think their rotation at safety was solid last year, but they definitely need another man-to-man cornerback on the outside opposite of Adoree Jackson. Matthew, what's up, brother? Nice to see you. Jose, I'll get you in here in a little bit. You can come on, be our first guest of the evening. Anybody else filtering in? We're getting a bunch of comments now. If you're interested in joining me live, I'm bringing some of you guys on tonight to chat face-to-face with me. So comment down below. I'll try to get as many of you in here as possible. I got one friend who I know wants to come in later. He's not in the comments right now, but he's going to come on at some point. But we're going to go ahead, answer these few questions. Then, Jose, here's how you'll get on. Basically, go ahead, DM me on Twitter. Say, hey, I'm Jose from the live stream, and then I'll go ahead and send you the link, and then we'll get you on here, okay? So let's go to this next question again. What's up, Matthew? Thomas leaves this question. How much would draft strategy change if Wink is gone? Change some or a lot, and not a lot of time before the draft to change strategy. Now, the last part of that is a big deal. Not a lot of time. The Giants are deep in their draft strategy plans, whatever. You guys got what I'm saying. They're deep in that, and they've been working hard at that for a while. The Senior Bowl just concluded. You've got the Combine coming up in about a month here. So, yeah, they're deep in those plans. And with Wink Martindale potentially leaving for a head coaching opportunity, the Giants might be stuck in a little bit of a scramble because it would probably change quite a bit. I think Wink Martindale is going to want some really specific guys defensively, and I'm sure they've been scouting some of those specific guys. And if this defensive scheme were to change like drastically, then their draft plans on the defensive side of the ball would also have to change drastically, in my opinion, that is. Now, the priority list stays the same. Like, you still need to get a linebacker, you still need to get a CB2, you need to add depth at all three levels, right? That's pretty much your priority list. Linebacker, CB2, and then depth at all levels. So that's not going to change because those are just your roster's needs. But the types of players, like what Sam was just asking, which types of players, that might change. Because if this new defensive coordinator were to come in here, if Wink Martindale left and say, hey, I want to run a little bit more zone defense and I want to blitz less. Okay, well, now you got to get a CB2 that's capable of playing zone defense. Maybe he likes to play in cover two. So you need a boundary corner who's really good at sitting in a shallow zone and just being a ball hawk in that way. So it's a much different process when you're talking about that. So it might change a lot. But also at the same time, those priorities lists, that doesn't change because that's just about the talent that you have on your roster. And then on the offensive side of the ball, if Mike Kafka does leave, now I don't think that changes too much because Brian Dable's still at the helm there, but there could be some changes. It depends. So we'll go on to the next question. Deed and Shelton, so many uncertainties right now. Wink, Kafka, Jones, and Saquon. I know, man, it's really tough to tell what's going to go on with the Giants this offseason. I mean, if I had to make a bet, right, and say which coordinator we're more likely to lose, I got to say, I think Kafka has a really good shot at that Arizona Cardinals job. He's one of the finalists, one of the two finalists now. And Patrick Mahomes just gave him a real vote of confidence publicly at the Super Bowl Media Day. So maybe the Cardinals hear that. Maybe he rocked his interview. Maybe he gets the job. I don't know. I'm getting a little worried because we're so deep in this process and Kafka and Wink are still alive. So, yeah, it's a lot of uncertainty. And Wink Martindale as well. He's definitely an impressive coordinator. We know that. And I think that he's someone who might go in there and really knock the socks off of that Indianapolis Colts brass, and they might want him. Now, with Jones and Saquon, yes, it's uncertainty, but it's more uncertainty about how much they're going to pay for those guys. I feel pretty confident that they certainly will be signed, both of them. Daniel Jones is a lock, in my opinion. Now, Saquon Barkley, there's a little bit of like, maybe they let him walk, but realistically, I think they're going to come to an agreement probably around the $14 million range and get him locked in long term. Now, you guys can let me know down below whether or not you think that's too steep for Saquon, but we can have a good discussion about that. But all right, we'll move on to the next question from Ski Mask Samson. Just going one by one here, guys, and then Jose, if you DM me on Twitter, I'll see it in a second. I'll try and get you on here. Ski Mask Samson, a cool name. Giants need to use at least 2 of top 6 picks on linebackers. Yeah, I think that they definitely need to prioritize it, but let's be a little careful saying that they need to utilize certain picks on players because you do want to go best player available, and you have to keep in mind that free agency is upcoming. So let's say that the Giants go out free agency. We broke down David Long on this channel, Tennessee Titans linebacker. If you go back and watch that episode, Alex and I gave a pretty lengthy breakdown about him. Let's say that the Giants actually went ahead and signed him to like a $12 million per year deal. Now, I don't think it would be that much, but let's say that happened. They overpaid for him. Then are you still banging the table saying they need to invest a top 6 pick in a linebacker? Well, maybe, but best player available is likely going to be the strategy. Sam, which is a higher need, linebacker or wide receiver? Dude, those are like right there, neck and neck. That's even. That's really tough to say. If I had to pick one, though, I think this defense runs a whole lot better with a linebacker. I think that Daniel Jones proved he can get pretty far. Maybe not as far as we would like, but pretty far with the subpar receiving talent on this team. But again, you look at some of those games where we just got shredded against the run. The Giants need a linebacker who can be an enforcer in the middle of the field and stop the run. It's probably the top need, but I flip flop on those because we've all seen how a game changing receiver can excel in offense and propel a quarterback to have a breakout. Like when you look at some guys like Josh Allen is a perfect example, and of course other quarterbacks around the league, Jalen Hurts as well. Philip Davis, how do you feel if the Giants take the O-lineman from the Gators at pick 25 if no wide receivers on the board? Now, I like that. I think he's a great interior lineman, if I'm correct about who you're referring to. He basically, Anthony Richardson was never touched when the pass rusher was going up against this guy that you're talking about. I'm also blanking on his name here, so I'll have to go ahead and search him, and we're definitely going to do more research on him and talk about him on the channel. So stay tuned to that. But yeah, I would like it. I think that interior offensive line needs to be a big priority. I think that the Giants can go ahead and scrap everything that they have on the interior and start over: left guard, center, and right guard. Daz Merchant, side note, what do we think the future is for Odell? Everyone, let me know down below. What's happening with OBJ? Is he signing with the New York Giants? It's possible. Maybe not too likely, but I do think that it's possible. And I will say, I would still be at this point where I would welcome him with open arms. I'm still down for OBJ to make the homecoming. Now, I know that video a few months ago kind of damning, kind of does make me have a massive question mark about him and how disciplined he is to the game right now. But I will say I just have such fond memories of watching OBJ all those years ago, and I would definitely be down to bring him back. I think everyone stays this year, and next year we get stripped. Yeah, I think that's also a really solid possibility. I mean, if you look at it, and you see the way that Mike Kafka so quickly rose up there and got so much notoriety after one season as an OC, I think there's a really good chance that he gets a head coaching job next year with another successful season. But that's kind of the key here. The Giants have to have another really good year next year. I think they will, but they have to have another really good year for those guys to get the jobs, because if for some reason the defense falls apart or the offense falls apart, then obviously nobody's going to want to hire Kafka or Martindale. All right, Sam, big question that you're asking here. I'm sorry, guys, my nose is itching like crap. I have no idea what's going on. Just got out of the shower. Maybe I got soap up it, whatever. Sam Fountain, where can I get your hat? You guys like this thing? I'm so proud of this thing. So happy about it. I love it so much. My Fireside Giants hat. Listen, guys, they're coming soon. We're going to be giving some away pretty soon as well to members. So if you are signed up as a member on the channel, we're going to start doing monthly giveaways to you all because we really appreciate that extra love and support that you provide. So if you're not a member just yet, maybe consider going ahead and signing up because we're going to be giving away some hats, some merch. We've got t-shirts coming out soon too. This is just a sneak peek. This one hat right here. Really happy about it. But make sure you guys stay tuned because we got plenty coming your way. It's going to be a little store on the YouTube shop, and it's going to be real fun stuff. Jose, I think you're right. The sky's the limit for the Giants. I absolutely agree. I think there's a limitless potential for New York right now. And listen, it's just about building through the draft in my eyes. I think when you continue to stockpile on that young talent through the draft, your team grows and becomes really solid. Once again, guys, Jose, I didn't get your DM yet. So if anybody wants to come on the channel right now, there it is on the screen at Anthony_Rivardo on Twitter. Send me a DM. Say, hey, I'm the guy from the chat, and I'll send you the link. You can come on and chat with me face to face. Best player available is BS. I think that's debatable. Now, it just depends on your draft strategy. I mean, it's not always best player available. If you have a franchise quarterback, you don't just draft a quarterback because he's the best player available. But if you have a good receiver and there's an elite receiver on the board, sometimes you go with that elite receiver on the board and pair him with your good receiver, and that best player available pick allows both of them to be better players. So I think that it's just, and sometimes it happens to be that the best player available is at a position of need, like a tackle last year with Evan Neal and like an edge with Kayvon Thibodeau. It depends. Danny Boy, we need crazy help. I think this roster definitely has a lot of room for improvement. Absolutely. Steven RC, shout out Steven, longtime viewer of the channel. Much love, much appreciation your way, Steven. Getting a little out of breath here, guys. I need someone to come on and chat with me. Draft needs can alter based off free agency signings, but I think the ultimate goal is getting the right wide receivers for DJ's passing game. Has to be drastically better. No ands, ifs, or buts. Now, I think a lot of people share that opinion with you, Steven. There's no doubt that, wide receiver needs to be a top priority, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Like when we talk about maybe they need a lineman, maybe they need a tight end, whatever the case might be. I think when you look at it, though, the Giants definitely need to get DJ that wide receiver. He's never had one, when you look at it. And hold on. Sorry, guys. When you look at it all the way back to his collegiate playing career, when he was with Duke, he didn't even have a top end receiver. He's never had one. He's always been surrounded by miserable talent. And since he's been with the Giants, poor offensive line play. So I think getting him that number one receiver might really turn things around for him. But what are you guys thinking about the Super Bowl, right? How are we feeling about the Super Bowl? I think we're all thinking go Chiefs, right? No doubt. I'm definitely not rooting for Philly here. Let's go Chiefs. For now, I'm a huge Kansas City fan. I might have to go buy myself a Chiefs hat for the Sunday. Chris D, you always go, you get with position value, get position with value. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, and I agree with you. At times, I don't know. Sometimes it's best player available for me. Sometimes it's positional value. It really depends on the player and depends on the pick. It's not only about how talented they are, but how do they fit your scheme. So, I mean, if the best player available is a dominant zone corner, but you only play zone coverage 30% of the time, and you're a man coverage defense, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to take him, or are you going to take the less talented but better in man coverage cornerback? Depends. Stephen RC, wide receiver, cornerback, linebacker, interior offensive line are the top needs. 1,000%. Couldn't agree more. And I think that there's definitely some other needs on this roster, depth being a top one. Danny Boy, Odell, no. OBJ said sign him and draft the Princeton wide receiver, even though I never heard of him. Yeah, Alex actually wrote an article about him and broke him down in a thread on Twitter. So you can go to Alex Wilson ESM on Twitter. You can go over to empiresportsmedia.com, and there's an article about him. So you can get caught up on who this, I think his name is Ilyasova. And of course, we're going to break him down on the channel. Eventually, we'll get around to it, break him down, and probably do a film breakdown on him and a few receivers. Going to be doing one on Jordan Addison soon, guys. I've kind of fallen in love with him as a prospect. I think that he's like perfect. He's exactly what the Giants need. So I'm going to be breaking him down on the channel soon. So comment down below if you're hyped for that. Ooh. Chris D, you have to assume we're going to get an interior linebacker, an inside linebacker, and cornerback in free agency. I would assume so. Even if they don't get blue chip starters at those positions, they're going to add depth to both of those positions through free agency. Heard that too. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but shout out Danny Boy. Thanks for the comment. Darius Smith, hey there, Anthony. As far as the first round pick goes, would you want Shane to go linebacker, cornerback, or wide receiver? Well, Darius, listen, it depends on the way that the board falls, because, all right, let's say that, in my opinion, there's a receiver who's a first-round caliber prospect, right? But then there's a linebacker who ends up falling down the board, and he's a top 10 caliber prospect. All right, well then, what do you do? Because maybe you prioritize the position of receiver, but the best player available is a linebacker, and you have a need for both. So this is kind of like that question that Chris D just had and that we were just going over. In that scenario, do you go with the best player available, or do you go with the best player that fits your position of needs? I don't know. It depends how you prioritize it. But what do I want him to go with? It depends on free agency. I want the Giants to draft a really solid receiver or trade that pick for a receiver. So I'm probably going receiver over the other two. But if all of the receivers get, snatched off the board in the top 15 picks and the Giants are left there with like a second round player, but a first round linebacker or corner talent, I'm probably going to go ahead and take that linebacker or cornerback, man. All right, we have a guest about to join us. His name is Eric. He's going to hop in here in just a second after I answer this question from Danny Boy. Danny, way too much. Sorry. Need Dex. More important. Absolutely. I think the Giants are going to sign Dexter Lawrence to a mega extension. I can't wait for it. He absolutely deserves it. Let's go ahead and welcome on our first guest, Eric. How are you? How are you doing today, my friend?
What's going on, Anthony? I'm doing pretty good right now. Just chilling at the house right now. I know where you used to live. Having a good night with the boys. But I'm ready to join in and have this discussion with you.
All right, so let's talk some football, Eric. That's kind of unusual. If any of you viewing don't know, Eric and I are actually co-hosts together on Fireside Rangers, like to talk New York Rangers and hockey together. But, Eric, let's go ahead. Let me get your Super Bowl prediction right off the bat.
All right, well, my predictions might be a little bit biased, right? Because I'm a Saints fan. I won't lie about that. So I'm a little bit off here with the Fireside Giants fan base going on right now. But as an NFC supporter, I don't like the Eagles. We beat the Eagles in the last week of the regular season, I think, or like the second to last week. I won't lie, I didn't really follow the Saints too much this season. I was too busy following the Rangers. But if I want to see an NFC East team win, I would want it to be the Giants. Therefore, I am rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs. So, Chiefs all the way, baby. That's who I think is going to win. That's who I'm rooting for to win.
Yeah, everyone in this chat is definitely rooting Chiefs. We are not here messing with the Eagles. That is everyone's least favorite team right now. But, yeah, go Chiefs. And if anyone didn't know, who, because you don't follow along with Fireside Rangers, Eric is in fact from New York. He just happens to be a Saints fan. Eric, you have a really fascinating story to tell about why you are not a Giants fan. I would love if you would share that with the chat.
Of course. And I kind of expected this to happen. So I'll give a little bit of a backstory. Growing up in New York, my mom was a Giants fan. My dad was a Jets fan. So when I eventually started watching football, I had a very important choice to make. And I eventually sided with my mom and I became a Giants fan. I love the Giants. I watched them win a Super Bowl, which was phenomenal. I won't lie. To have my team win for once is like literally the only time in my life that my team has ever won. But then the year after they won, the Giants have their training camp in Buffalo. So my entire family takes the road trip up to Buffalo, and I get there. And I'm young. I was born in 2001. When was the first year they beat the Patriots?
That was Super Bowl 42 in 2008.
So, yeah, I was like 7 years old.
Yeah, you had to be 8 years old. If it's the year after 2009, you're probably 8 years old.
Yeah, so I was 8 years old. I was a little kid, right? So we get to the training camp, we watch them practice, and then all of a sudden everyone starts lining up, right? All the players are taking signatures, they're meeting fans. So my little 8-year-old ass is like, I want to meet Eli Manning, the Super Bowl MVP. Am I correct on that?
Yes, the 2-time Super Bowl MVP, one time at the time of your story, though. Yeah.
So I spend like an hour on that line as a kid, and I eventually get to the front, and I hand Eli Manning my hat. And I'm like, little boy, I'm like, "Hi, Mr. Manning. Can you please sign my hat?" And he goes, "Of course." So he takes my hat. He has the pen in hand. He's about to sign it. And all of a sudden, his agent just walks up and he whispers in his ear, "Hey, like your time slot is over. You got to go back to the locker room." So Eli Manning goes, "Okay." And he hands me back my hat without signing it and then walks away. So everyone starts booing him. I'm like 8 years old. I'm crying. And after that moment, I said, I'm never watching football again. And then like 3 or 4 years went by. I grew up and I said, okay, I'm going to watch football again. But I refuse to support the Giants because of that traumatic experience that I endured. So I said, what team am I going to support? And at the time, I had been watching a TV show that was taking place in New Orleans. And I went, this is a really cool city. I'm just going to root for the Saints. And it just so happened to be that the year that I started rooting for the Saints, they won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like I was like a front runner or anything. It just was like coincidence on top of coincidence. So after that, I was like, I guess I'm a Saints fan now. And then now I've just been experiencing pain and pain and pain year after year. Luckily for you, Anthony, you guys have made yourselves back into the playoff contention. You won a playoff game this year. And hopefully throughout the next couple of years, you will make it farther. Now that Eli Manning's not on the Giants, I can root for them. They're not my number one.
It's such a sad story, man. It's a tragic story. I hate to hear it, really do, but it's so funny. So, all right, Eric, if we were to somehow get this clip of you telling that story to go viral, and then Eli Manning saw it and he sent you a signed hat, would you be a Giants fan again?
No.
Damn it. All right, there's no point then. I was going to clip it and tag him. I was going to be like, come on, let's make it happen.
I would love to go viral, and it'd be really cool if that happened. But at the same time, if you compare the times of me liking these teams, I was only a Giants fan from before I learned how to talk to they won a Super Bowl. And then just from the Saints winning Super Bowl to now, my time as a Saints fan is longer than my time as a Giants fan. So, shit. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Sorry. I always forget when me and Anthony record It's on Do Not Disturb. That's the worst part. Whenever me and Anthony record videos, I always forget to mute my thing. But the point is, my time as a Saints fan is now longer than my time as a Giants fan. So I feel like no matter what, I will have to stay with my boys. As much as I will root for a New York team, like such as this year's playoffs, the Saints didn't make it. The Giants did. I did root for the Giants for you and for my fellow New Yorkers. But if it ever came down to a Saints versus Giants, like NFC Championship, I'm rooting for the Saints right there.
Damn, that's tough. I guess I can't blame you, though. I don't know if you could see some of the comments. Someone said rest in peace to their eardrums because of your text message. That's my boy, Steven. Steven also thinks that the agent was the problem. I agree. Eli Manning can do no wrong in my eyes, so I'm siding with Eli on this one. And Chris makes a really good point here. Chris D says, it could have been worse. Eli could have decked you and given you a wedgie. That's absolutely true. It's a good point.
That is true. I started laughing when I read that on the side right there. It is true. He could have bodied me and given me a wedgie. I feel like he would also be placed on like multiple lists due to the fact that I was like 8 years old when this happened. So
Eli might have spent some time in the can for that one.
But yeah, no, I don't have any bad blood against the Giants. Obviously, I root for them. I do wish the best for the Giants as like someone from Long Island. My dad is a Jets fan, so I also kind of root for them as well. I'm not a big football guy, but as far as I know, there's not too much of a rivalry between the Jets and Giants. Am I kind of right about that?
I mean, it exists, but it's nothing like it is Giants versus Cowboys or Giants versus Eagles.
Yeah.
Like that's our real rivalry because we play twice a year, but we only play the Jets every 4 years. So it's like, it's whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of like the Mets and the Yankees where like, I'm a Yankees fan, but like, I also like to see the Mets succeed because both teams are like so unsuccessful that like, I just want someone to win.
Well, I mean, historically, not the Yankees, but yeah, lately they haven't been the best. But it's kind of like it depends though who you ask, because some Giants fans absolutely will be like, no, never root for the Jets. I hate the Jets, and they'll get all crazy. They'll be like, Giants fans are the superior New York sports fans. The Jets fans suck.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll find people like that, but for me, it's like, I guess it'll be cool to see a New York team win if the Jets somehow snuck into the playoffs, but that hasn't happened in over a decade. So
yeah, I mean, I guess to just like satisfy the people in this live stream, if it ever came down between Jets and Giants, I will root for the Giants due to my mother and my mother only.
Not for me. All right, Tuto Azuri, thank you so much for the donation. Much appreciated. Massive salutes and respects to Big Boss Anthony. Much respect. And all diehard Giants fans in the building, and slap all stinky boys losers out. Slap all stinky boys losers out of the front door hard and fast. Yes, sir. I absolutely agree with that sentiment. Tuto Azuri, everything blue. I know you're a big Italia football fan, so Forza Azuri, my friend.
That's crazy though.
I like to slap the sticky boys out of the building. That was pretty cool.
But I don't want to spend too much time here. I want to let you talk with the Giants. Obviously, I'm not too well versed on the Giants lore or anything. But I guess as my final statement, I will say, as the co-host of the Fireside Rangers podcast, the Rangers are currently playing, and as of about 2 seconds ago, we are winning 1-0 against the Canucks. Tony is my co-host on that. So before I head out, whenever this ends, you Giants fans, if you happen to be a Rangers fan or are interested in hockey, be sure to check us out. Leave a like, maybe subscribe.
Yes, everyone go sub to Fireside Rangers. Eric, thank you for coming on, my friend. As always, one of my best friends in life right here. Hope you all enjoyed his awesome story about Eli Manning. That's actually not awesome and rather depressing. But Eric, thanks again for coming on, and hope to have you on again soon.
Of course, and I'm sorry about the dinging thing. I don't know what's over my laptop.
That's okay. My ears have recovered. I'll be all right.
Okay. Oh no, I just hit. How do I leave?
I'm just gonna kick you. See ya. All righty. Hope you all enjoyed that one little special guest appearance from Eric, who's still sitting in the lobby for some reason. Eric, get out of here, please. All right, let's see what questions I missed while Eric was on here. All right, let me scroll up because I know I missed a few. Let's go, Kadarius. Yes, I'm a big Kadarius Toney fan again this weekend. I actually have a Kadarius Toney jersey, and I've had no reason to wear it. But alas, I have a reason to wear my Kadarius Toney jersey again. Let's freaking go. So I'll be throwing that one on. Steven RC said, Mahomes is taking this kid to school. Jalen Hurts, absolutely. He's about to show him who the real MVP is. Will the real MVP please stand up? All right, this one from Marvin is pretty interesting, and I want everyone to comment down below their thoughts. What about Jerry Jeudy from the Broncos? Now, I don't think I'd give up a first-round pick. I definitely wouldn't give up a first-round pick, and I would even hesitate to give up a second-round pick for Jerry Jeudy. Some injury histories. Is he more of a slot guy? Can he be a number one receiver? Is he a solid number two? I think he's emerging as a WR1, but still got my questions. I definitely think he's got WR1 potential. It just depends on the offense. So I will say, we'll see. But yeah, Danny Boy just commented, Jerry Jeudy, no hands. He does have a drops issue. He is pretty skinny, kind of frail. But again, I really like his route running. I think there's a lot of potential there if he gets unlocked in a new offense. We'll see, though. I don't think that should be a high priority player for the Giants to go after. Thomas, I missed this one. How cool would it be to get the Super Bowl in 2025, the 100th anniversary of the Giants, 2 years away? Possible or too soon? Definitely possible, and definitely would be pretty freaking cool. I didn't even realize that. That would be amazing, man. Yeah, I hope it happens. Who are the pillars for this New York Giants team for the future? Andrew Thomas, Kayvon Thibodeau. I think it's going to be Daniel Jones. Of course, they're going to sign him to a long-term deal, so he's going to become that, the pillar. And honestly, man, Brian Dable. I think he is the pillar. Brian Dable and Joe Shane proved in year one that they are here to do business. They didn't come around to play around. So, yeah, they are the pillars for me. I think that they are really important, and I'm happy that the Giants finally have good management in town. So, Ski Mask, I missed this one. In the NFC East, stopping the run should be the priority. They're good receivers on day two. What are your thoughts on A.T. Perry or Dontavian Wicks? I haven't looked into those guys yet, but I will say stopping the run, yes, massive priority for the Giants. It has to be. That was atrocious, that game against the Eagles where they ran for like 250-something yards. All right, there was another one from Tuto Azuri. Tuto, shout out. Thank you so much. Anthony, me and my rugby club teammates will be there at the day of the Super Bowl, 20 of us in total, and there will be lots of accidental hard elbows to the boys' jaws all day. Yes, sir. That is what I love to read. Tuto, thank you again for the donation. Have so much fun at the Super Bowl. That sounds like a blast, dude. I'm jealous. I'm sure everyone else is, but I hope you and your rugby teammates go ahead and knock some Eagles fans' jaws real good. Eric Wilson, who was just on the show, said sub to Fireside Rangers or he'll cry. So please, guys, don't make him cry like Eli Manning did. Go ahead and sub to Fireside Rangers. That would also make me happy. Yes, I think this is valid, Steven. I don't like the Jets sometimes. They do some things that I don't like. I will say that. All right, Alex Cordero, this is interesting. What is your thoughts on taking Bijan Robinson to replace Saquon? Me personally, I'm not about that just because it's basically taking another first-round running back and being in the same conundrum 4 years from now where you have to pay another first-round running back, a high investment all over again. I'd rather just stick with Saquon at that point. He's a proven talent, awesome player. I don't know. I'm not too keen on this one. Daz, I'm wondering what OBJ looks like on the market right now. I think so. I think I'm interested as well. I think we'll see because I think there's a chance that he goes for the low, especially following that interesting video of him on the plane. I think that he could be kind of gotten for a steal, but I think we'll see. What position would you trade up for and what list of players? I've got one right off the bat that I can answer for you. I would trade up for wide receiver Jordan Addison. I'm really high on this kid. I think he's phenomenal. Excellent route runner, a great player, and I think that he would be worth moving up like 10 or 15 spots for, depending. Maybe not 15. That's probably going to be too steep, but if you can get him at like pick 15, 16, somewhere there, 20, maybe move up 5 spots. Oh, yeah, give me Jordan Addison, man. That guy is going to be a stud. All right, let's see. Oh, already ran over that one. Rather get a sure hand wide receiver than one with speed. Yeah, I think that, I'd rather get someone with both, but no, definitely someone who is just reliable. goes crazy on him like that. Good route running is what I always prioritize. We need a center. Do you know any out there in free agency or good college prospect? Yeah, there is one in college, and I'm blanking on his name. Matt Miller mocked him to us in the second round of his draft today on ESPN. I'll go ahead and look that up for you guys. We can discuss. Let me see if I can find it. ESPN Matt Miller 2-round mock draft. Let's see, because there is a really good center here. Hold on, that's the exact article that I was looking for, and I clicked on the wrong one. So bear with me, my friends. In the meantime, Jerry Judy Nah from Danny Boy, Stephen RC, Tony will troll the Giants if he wins the Super Bowl. Yes, probably, but I'm prepared for it. I think the Giants will win one soon enough. All right, so he had center Joe Tipman going here. So that is the name to keep an eye on. 6'6", 317-pound lineman. Started 12 games at center before declaring for the draft and foregoing the Guaranteed Rates Bowl this past December. Just 1 sack and 5 pressures on 338 pass blocking snaps. Helped him earn a selection as all Big Ten honorable mention. So that's a player that I like. I've read a couple excerpts on him. I like him. I'm going to go ahead and, go see what he's all about eventually on a film breakdown here. All right, let's see. Oh, Steven, yes, Dexter's absolutely a pillar, and so is Xavier McKinney, in my opinion. I think they both are. Absolutely 100%. I want to know the deets on MT13. Michael Thomas, I think there's a good chance he gets traded this offseason. Eric, we'll see. All right. When will we see a Kayshawn Boot vid? Is that how you say it? Is it Boot? I'm not sure, man. We are probably going to start doing some prep for free agency soon on the channel. And then once we get a little closer to free agency and start getting into free agency, then we're going to really hit the ground running on the draft stuff. And I think next year we have plans to kind of maybe open up a Fireside Drafts channel. We'll see. Stay tuned, guys. It's going to be fun. ESM is really growing. If you don't know, Fireside Giants is an Empire Sports Media entity. So go check out empiresportsmedia.com for all your New York sports news and rumors and all that stuff. I'm a writer there as well, but we're growing. So don't be surprised to see a lot more draft content in the future. All right, let's see. Michigan Center, Steven. Interesting. We should go over a draft board right now. Who wants to do that? Okay, and this is a really good point, Frank. I'd rather have Tony troll us than the Eagles. 1,000%. Absolutely. All right, are you guys interested in maybe doing a mock draft together? Maybe we could go on here, take a look at some mock drafts on maybe PFF mock draft machine. Let me know down in the comments. You guys interested in that? But otherwise, let me know if you have any other ideas for me. Maybe we can look at draft boards, look at mock drafts, see what the Giants are being mocked in, some of these analysts and pros mocks. Adrian says yes. Adrian, I'll do it just for you, my man. Yeah, let's go ahead. Sure, let's do it. All right, let's go ahead and let me share my screen here. See, I'm a little rusty, guys. I haven't live streamed in a while. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know down below if I'm doing a good job. Oh, there we are. Pro Football Focus. Woohoo. All right, let's go to the mock draft simulator. Danny Boy says, PFF all day. It's funny because there's some people who are in our comment sections and just absolutely hate PFF. And then there's others who are like, yeah, I love PFF. And then there's others who are like, don't like them, but love their mock draft machine. And I got to say, I do think they have the best mock draft machine. They're pretty solid. Adrian, thank you. 11 out of 10. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. Trying my best here. All right. Let's go ahead. Hit the start draft. Let's see. All right, flying through. Anthony Richardson to the Panthers. Interesting. I don't know if you guys peeped that one. All right. We got to point this out. How funny is it that the Dolphins don't have that draft pick? Like, I think that's so messed up, but I get it because of the tampering and stuff. But that is so crazy to me that they just lost that draft pick. But anyways, here's 2 names just popping off the board right here to me. Jordan Addison. I know I just went over him. We're going to take him because I'm obsessed with Jordan Addison. But the other one, this is the guy that one of you was mentioning, Osiris Torrance. This is the guard out of Florida. He's a great pass protecting guard. And Danny, what's messed up? Sorry, guys. What's messed up? Why is it messed up? Is something wrong with the stream, guys? Let me know. If not, I'm not sure what you're referring to. How realistic are these two trades I've done PFF? Ayuk went for a second and a fifth. T. Higgins was a second and a third. T. Higgins for a second isn't happening. T. Higgins will be a first round and probably a third or fifth round. He will definitely field a late first round pick out of the Giants. There's no way that pick 51 or whatever we have in the second round, not getting it done for T. Higgins. For Ayuk, maybe, but it's probably a second and a third. So you probably have first and a fifth, maybe first and a fourth for Higgins, probably first and a third, to be honest. And then for Ayuk, maybe second and a fourth or second and a third. I don't know. I think you're losing a couple picks there in those mid rounds. So, guys, Addison is not a slot receiver. He's built like one, but he's not a slot receiver. So the question is, will he be forced to play in the slot, right? Because in college, he didn't. But you look at him, he's very skinny, very lengthy, not strong. Well, here's the thing is, we should all know this because we play in the same division as the Eagles. Devontae Smith doesn't play exclusively in the slot. He plays on the outside. There's two different outside receiver positions, and I think this is something really important that a lot of you need to realize if you don't already. There's the X position and the Z position, right? And so the X receiver stands up on the line of scrimmage. That's where they get jammed right at the line. That's where they get jammed right at the line. Physical contact immediately as soon as the ball is snapped. There's a guy in their face, right? But the Z receiver is not that big body, strong guy who plays the X. He's the one that plays just a couple steps off the line of scrimmage. So it's kind of like how guys in the slot aren't on the line of scrimmage. They're like really far off of it. Well, it's like that, but on the outside. So you usually have one receiver on the line of scrimmage. That's your X. You have one standing on the outside a couple yards off the line of scrimmage. That's your Z. And then you have the guy in the slot. Now, Jordan Addison absolutely can be a Z receiver in the NFL and a damn good one as well because he's such a great route runner. And if you guys didn't know, Ayuk is not a slot receiver. He's got a similar build to Ayuk, around 5'11", like 170, something like that. Real skinny guy. I think that's similar to Ayuk. And again, Devontae Smith as well. Those guys play on the outside. It's not about being the tallest or the strongest guy. It's about being the guy who gets open the most. That's what puts you on the outside. And Addison has the route running capabilities to absolutely get the job done on the outside. I will be breaking him down on the channel like within the next week, and we'll go over where he projects, whether that's inside or outside. He can dominate at both in my eyes. I think he can play on the outside. A couple of you mentioned it. He did play on the outside at USC, and Christy, you made a good point. Yes, that was USC and not the NFL, and that is kind of like the big thing. But just because he enters the NFL as a slot receiver doesn't mean he eventually in year 2 makes his way outside and starts playing well there. But yeah, and Alex, Antonio Brown was not that tall either. Antonio Brown was 5'11". Now, the difference is that Addison's only 175 pounds. That's really light. I think Antonio Brown was probably closer to 200. If you take a look at Addison's 6 feet tall, actually. And then if you look at OBJ, 5'11", 198, though. So there's a big difference there between 5'11", 198, and 175. And Danny Boy, Marvin Harrison, real gangsta. Yes, he is. Big Nuts, as you mentioned. Shout out Big Nuts, longtime viewer. He does have a similar build to Marvin Harrison, who played a lot on the outside. So it's not all about being the biggest, strongest guy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Jordan Addison here. Sorry to you guys who are banging the table for Torrance right now, but we're going Addison. 90s kid, yo, what's good, Anthony? Love the channel. Keep the content. We need a stud at wideout and interior O-line. Well, in this mock draft, we just took a stud at wideout in Jordan Addison. But thank you, 90s kid. Much love. Really appreciate it. All right, guys, really important question down below. What are your thoughts on lemon water? Throw it down in the comments. I love lemon water. I be slicing lemons all the time, throwing them in this bubble water. It's Perrier. Oh, it's the best, man. I love it. That's the real question I want to know, guys, not who your favorite Giants player is. I want to know if you like lemon water. All right, next up here. So you've got a few big names. Garrett Williams is one that I recognize out of Syracuse. You've got Parker Washington. We just took a receiver. We don't need an edge, right? Sidney Brown, safety out of Illinois. Interesting. Now, Jalen Hyatt is a nice name to take a look at. This is a player that I like as well. Don't water down lemons. Room temp water, baby. Ooh, I like ice cold water. Propel lemon water is good. I love Propel. They got a great flavor. That's really good as well. Guys, take a look at this draft board. Let me know. Who are you picking here? I'm leaning towards Garrett Williams, cornerback out of Syracuse. I like me some cornerbacks. Deontay Banks is there. There's a few players to take a look at. Rashee Rice as well. There is a lot of receivers in this year's draft in the middle rounds. So if that's the argument, if you're talking about taking an interior offensive lineman at the end of the first round with that 25th pick, it's because you're banking on getting one of these receivers in the second or third, right? Because there's a lot of them. There's a bunch of them. Someone said get Hyatt. I've got a lot of Hyatts here, but we just took a receiver in the first round. You guys want to double dip at the receiver position? Let me know. Come on, comment down below, guys. Henley, good cover linebacker. Let's see. Is he up there? Someone said that. Dan Henley, cover linebacker. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, guys. Darius Smith, lemon water is great. I agree. Henley, we've got a Henley. We've got a Hyatt. All right. Someone's got to break this little tie here. Come on, boys. You can also take a look at the Draft Network for a breakdown on these guys. And you know what? Oh, do you like that? How about that, huh? You guys like my Eli Manning Google Chrome background? Pretty nice, right? Yeah. I made that. I photoshopped that myself. I've got hidden talents you guys don't even know about. You know, I'm really talented guy. Yeah. All right. Wide receiver room is non-existent. That's true, especially if they don't re-sign some of these guys. Definitely don't double dip my chips, Steven. Neither do I. Maybe sometimes when people aren't looking, though. Nice background, Eli the GOAT. Absolutely. First ballot Hall of Famer. If not, we riot. We will riot in Canton. Let's see. Don't share that pick with my buddy. Yeah, he wouldn't like that one. He does not like Eli Manning. Big drop off at linebacker after this round. I've seen a couple people say Henley. We're going to go ahead and take Henley right here. Where'd he go? Washington State linebacker. Let's get it. All right. Henley it is. All right, we can go ahead and look at this draft board as well. The big board, I mean. What kind of music you guys listen to? What are you guys into? You guys like rap, rock, pop, R&B, alternative, indie? What do you guys like? I like rap music. I do. Who's your favorite rapper if you have one? I want to know. I want to connect with you guys, you know? I'm trying to build this community here. Be your friend. Let's be friends. Danny Boy likes pop. Noah Sewell. Maybe we should have waited. Noah Sewell, brother of Penei Sewell. Ooh, this is an interesting board we have here, guys. You've got Steve Avila from TCU, a guard. Drake, 90s kid. Yeah, I love Drake, dude. I really do. And I also I love Future. Big fan of Future. I don't want any comments about my personality off camera just because I like Future, though. Please do not make any assumptions about who I am. We've got a Sewell vote. We've got I Love Cranberries from Adrian. Sewell seemed very slow on tape, says Alex. Alex, interesting take. I definitely got to dive into a lot more of these guys, you know. I got to dive into Sewell, the two guys that we drafted so far. I mean, obviously, I know Addison. I've already started diving into him. So we're not getting a center. DJ can go screw himself. Well, I don't want DJ to go do that, but, you know, Luke Weipler right here from Ohio State. We can go with him. You know, some guys comment down below. Mob Deep in here. Old school rap. Lauren Hill. Good choice. I like that. Cornerback. Oh, man, I don't know, guys. It's tough. We didn't get a CB yet. So we've got a linebacker in Henley. And we've got a receiver in Addison. Now on the board, we're seeing some interesting names. Noah Sewell, Steve Avila, Luke Weipler, Jalen Jones. I don't know. Fix this O-line. All right. Weipler, Avila. I think we're going to go Weipler, guys. I think I'm going to go with Weipler. All right. I like Ohio State linemen. I think that they play with a certain tenacity, and a couple of them have panned out in the league. A lot of them are usually like really big guys. We got to dive into Weipler, see what he looks like. Should we? Let's see what this guy is like, because I think that, yeah, 6'3", 300, just an absolute beast here. Interesting grades. Am I allowed to show this stuff because it's paid for? I don't even know, guys, to be honest. Oh, look at that. Most drafted by the Bears and the Giants. You know what? Let's go with them. All right. So here's what we'll do. We'll do something interesting here. With all of these guys, I'm going to put them on a list at the end of this mock draft, and then I'm going to send that list over to Alex, and then we're going to go one by one, and we're going to break these guys down on the channel at some point. Or maybe we'll take this mock draft, he'll make his own, and we'll compare them, and we'll give our pros and cons for each player on our list. Let me know if you guys like that ideas. I have good ideas, I swear. All right. So let me know if you want us to talk about that. Looks like the PFF mock draft thing skipped us. Where's our pick from Kadarius Toney? Devon Akane from Texas A&M went there. We could have gotten Jalen Jones with that pick. So we're going to say that in our mock draft, if we had this Chiefs pick, we would have went with Jalen Jones, okay? Because Texas A&M corner, I've heard about him. I like the sound of it. All right. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the board. Got some mid-round running backs. Is it time to start preparing for life after Saquon here? Or do we go ahead? There's a couple centers on the board. Interior defensive line depth is a need. A lot of running backs on the board. Some corners. Who do you guys like here? Who do you guys like? All right. Let's see. Joseph Kraus, biggest fan. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I got more work on Twitter as well, guys. Go follow me at Anthony_Rivardo. And also, I write a lot of articles. So go check out empiresportsmedia.com. Check out my articles. All right. Is he an outside linebacker? Okay, so is he an outside linebacker in a 3-4 or a 4-3? Because there's a big difference. Because in a 3-4, he's an edge rusher. In a 4-3, he's basically an off-ball linebacker, which is an inside linebacker in a 3-4. So that's the question, but we can go ahead and take a look as well. We can look at Henley since he's one of the players that we drafted. Let me know if you guys like this style, talking about these players and pulling it up here, seeing what PFF has to say. All right. This one actually doesn't really tell us much, so maybe we should just go over to the Draft Network and see what they have to say. Because, again, guys, I haven't really started my pre-draft stuff yet. I'm starting to dive in. This is really my first time diving in like this full on, so I'm happy to experience this with you guys, firsthand. This is a good time. Love chatting with the chat. What happened to the Draft Network, guys? I feel like it fell off. I can't understand this website anymore. Where am I going? You guys agree with me? I don't know. All right, now I'm lost. Henley, that's who we were looking at. Goodness. I don't know what happened with this thing. I just can never find what I'm looking for on this website. I used to love this website too. All right, reasons to buy in: athleticism, upside, a new position. Not traditional linebacker play. Ooh, maybe this wasn't the best pick, guys. Sounds like he's a little undersized, 230. Not a stack linebacker. This guy's not giving us our help in run defense. I can tell you that much. So maybe we drafted a bust. We'll see. Yeah, PFF doesn't have our Tony pick. You're right, guys. Chris D, sounds like you were right about that. Definitely Jalen Jones, physical DBs. Yeah, I love me a physical cornerback, and I know Wink Martindale does as well. So with that 100th pick, that's who we would have gone with. Jalen Jones, 100%. All right, we've got Steven saying Chase Brown with some eyes emojis. You guys want an Illinois running back at this point? Is it really running back time? Spears had an awesome Pro Bowl. Tyjae Spears out of Tulane. You guys know who's from Tulane? Who's from Tulane? Is that where Orleans Darkwa played? Did he play at Tulane? I don't remember, but he might have. But I loved Orleans Darkwa. I wish that he got more of an opportunity to play for the Giants. He didn't. It was unfortunate. But, oh well. Now we have Saquon, so I can't complain. All right. Take Christian Gonzalez over any receiver in the first. What about Martin? Jartavius Martin? Well, so the reason we wouldn't take Martin is because with this last pick that we didn't have, but we in our heads had, we took Jalen Jones. We just took a physical outside corner out of Texas A&M. So you know what, guys? Let's be a little spicy here. Let's go with a running back, and let's take Tyjae Sharp. Good Senior Bowl. One of you likes him. See the reactions to that in the comments. Darkwa did play for Tulane. That's right. Yeah, I really liked Orleans Darkwa, man. I thought that he was a very solid back. And Ben McAdoo just didn't give him the opportunities, unfortunately. But, McAdoo was not a good coach, and that's why he's not here anymore, right? So, any big Gators fans? I got my friend Ethan, who's a huge diehard Florida Gators fan. Shout out Ethan, one of my best friends. He was supposed to come on tonight, but he got busy. He has class. Yeah, we took Spears, but that was just to spice things up. See your guys' reaction. What do you guys think? Is it too early in the fourth round for the Giants to go running back? I mean, you look at the depth behind Saquon. Are you happy with it? Or do you think there's room for improvement? I think there's room for improvement. So I do think that the Giants could actually go ahead and draft a running back in the middle rounds here, third, fourth, or fifth round. Maybe third is a little rich. Fourth or fifth, though. I'm comfortable with it. Definitely need a running back behind Saquon because Saquon shouldering the load. Listen, he can do it, but, get Wicks, Dontavian Wicks out of Virginia. You know what we used to do when we would do these live streams? We would go over to Twitter but this is so scary. I hate going onto Twitter because you never know what pops up, right? So this is like, now I'm holding my breath, hoping that, all right, good. See, this is, Jalen Hyatt. Weren't we just talking about him? He is targeting to run a 4.29 in the 40-yard dash next month at the Combine. Only 16 players in NFL Combine history have run faster than that. What do you guys think? Place your bets. Is he going to make the 4.29? I don't know. That's pretty freaking fast, man. If he runs under 4.3, it'll blow up the internet. All right, Wicks. Looks like a big body guy. Let's see what the height is on Wicks. Can we find that? Let's see. I don't know. You guys know. I'm having trouble with these websites right now. Don't do it. Speed kills. Listen, Dontavian Wicks, I'm not going to lie, from that clip that I just saw where he was putting on a show, this didn't look like much of a show to me, in all honesty. He looks really stiff, guys. Like, yeah, nice double move, triple move, though. It looked like a triple move, and it looks like, I don't know. I mean, he looks a little clunky in the upper body. Is just how I'm interpreting that one route, but that's all I'm interpreting is just one route. So what can I say? 6'2". All right, Chris, I see you, man. I see you. I see you. I see you, my man. 6'2". Don't do it. Speed kills. Don't sleep on Hyatt. Not sleeping, man. I'm awake. We have Breda on the roster. That's true. Well, I actually don't think it's true. I think he's about to be a free agent. But I did like Breda. I thought he played well at the time. Tell the truth, and Jonathan Mingo over Wicks. Okay. Some of these players down here, I don't know. These are really, late round guys, though. 5th round. Are all of you really that deep in your draft boards? You know that much about these 5th round prospects? I am impressed. Maybe you guys just watch a lot of college football. I don't watch too much of it. So, all right. You know what? Chris, are you saying 6'2" is it's a bad thing? You don't want Dontavian Wicks, or do you want him? Because we'll go with him if you want him. But I got to say, man, he just looks a little stiff in the upper body. And listen, I love me a good, fast, big frame receiver. Now to see this catch, that's worth noting. This right here, what we just saw, because that's ball skills, and he's being held. That's clearly a foul, and he still finds the ball and does a really good job getting his hands on it and hauling it in. Now this is an impressive play, but all right, we'll go ahead and take him. But he is stiff, and I have my question marks about his ability to really separate at the next level. I don't want it to be a situation where, you know what? He didn't look too stiff there. He didn't look too stiff here. He sinks his hip well. Not a lot of burst coming out of the break, though. Just these are my initial reactions to some of these clips, guys. And keep in mind, this is a 5th round guy, so you don't expect to see freaking Antonio Brown here. 4.35 40, that's impressive for sure. All right, we'll go ahead and take Dontavian Wicks, and we'll bank on the upside of a big body guy with straight line speed, but there's a lot of question marks about his lateral agility out of me. I'll just say that. Laterally, I'm not so sure. But he sunk his hips well on that return route. Look up Mingo. Jonathan Mingo. Let's go ahead and look him up. Ole Miss wide receiver. All right, let's look up Jonathan Mingo. Adrian, thanks, man. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Jonathan Mingo there. Oh, my God, what a catch. Oh, that was disgusting. Oh, a little fade route. Nice agility on the stem. And then, Jesus, what a catch. All right, Tommy. Shout out Tommy. He's going to come on to one of these live streams pretty soon, guys. If you like Tommy, stay tuned. Okay, just another ridiculous catch. Another physical wide receiver. All right, let's see this route. All right, I mean, he's calling a beautiful route running. I think that this is a good route. This isn't one that I'm going to, scream about, though. See how I like. All right, so the thing is, guys, if you're running a quick slant like that, how many steps he took on that release is a little concerning, because a lot of the times in the NFL, when you're running that quick slant, you only have two steps to take, really, because of how quickly the pass rush gets there, how strong the cornerbacks are. But let's see how many he takes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then he breaks, So listen, I think that, he doesn't separate that much either. He probably doesn't get into the end zone in the NFL on that play either. So, all right, let's look at another Mingo clip. Yeah, a little bit of jam there. Does well separating, but if you're trying to run a go route there, you're not open. That's the cornerback did a good job. Got his hand on the inside shoulder. And then there's a hands to the face there by Mingo. That's a pretty clear. You guys see that, right? I don't know how big it is, but you can definitely see a hands to the face on the tail end of this when he separates. This is That's a penalty. So not a good play by Mingo either. We're not seeing the best routes out of your guy right now, Steven. But this catch is ridiculous. I like the ball skills. I will say that. He beats Brents on this one. Okay, pretty physical way to get open. I like that. And the double move at the top of the route. Does a good job hauling in the ball as well. Okay, starting to warm up to it. He played like crap at the Senior Bowl. Yeah, that's what I'm gauging out of this, but all I'm seeing is Senior Bowl highlights. So, what else are you going to say? All right, we can take a look at this. Listen, guys, I think that the Giants do need to draft a tight end. Now, I love Daniel Bellinger. Awesome player. But I don't want to just bank on only Daniel Bellinger. I think we could do with some depth at that position. So I would like to see the Giants draft a tight end. If any of you guys know who some of these guys are, these tight ends, there's 3 up here. Zach Kuntz, Cameron Latu, McAllen Castles. I hope it's not pronounced the other way. I hope it's Kuntz. Parker Washington, 2nd round. Was Witherspoon, cornerback from Illinois, taken already? I think so, man. All right. Let's go ahead and go. Let's just go with Cameron Latu, Alabama tight end. Can't go wrong, right? Can't go wrong with an Alabama tight end, can you? I don't know. Alabama. Nice school, huh? Steven, did I say his name right? At the very least. All right, guys. Listen, these are just names to me at this point. Oh, yeah, that's right. There is an additional 6th. So PFF just doesn't have either of those picks in here. That's a little annoying. And I know that they don't have the comp picks in either. The Giants should be getting at least 1 compensation pick, maybe 2. So the Giants have extra draft capital coming up. It'll be nice. All right, should we Christmas tree this one, guys? Just get back to talking old Giants ball and then wrapping this one up. I'm getting a little tired here. I need to watch The Last of Us on HBO Max and go to sleep. I'm not caught up. Are you guys caught up? I'm not caught up. All right, let's tackle depth. I think is something that the Giants do address later in the draft. I don't think you take a guy like Wanya Morris out of Oklahoma. You don't expect him to ever start for you, but you definitely need the depth, right? So let's go ahead and throw him in the mix. And let's go ahead. I also think safety depth is an issue, right? So let's just take Brandon Hill out of Pittsburgh. You guys let me know how those players are if you know about them. But that just picking those guys to make the point where yeah, right. Wouldn't that commentary be funny as hell, Steven? Picking those players, though, the 2 that we just picked, just to highlight the fact that the depth is a problem on the Giants. Like, they do need a tackle behind Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas. They do need a safety, especially if Julian Love does leave. So they need to find something. But all right, last one here. Let's do something real crazy. Let's develop a quarterback at the end of the draft. Just sit there and Brock Purdy it up, right? We'll see. I don't know. I don't think the Giants would do that anyway. I think Tyrod Taylor is a very good backup. All right, here's my draft. I'm going to go ahead and download this image and discuss it with Alex, maybe dive into some of these players in the upcoming videos on the channel. So make sure to subscribe if you're new to this channel. But we're pretty much going to wrap this one up. If anyone has any last comments, I'll hang on for another minute or so. And we'll discuss that and then wrap things up. And next time, guys, make sure you stay tuned to my Twitter. I tweeted out earlier today when I was going live. And I'd love to have you guys come on and chat with me, face to face. Let's talk Giants ball together. I think that would be a lot of fun to sit here and, converse with you all. I like the chat, but I'd like to chat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in and leaving all of your comments in the chat. Shout out to Tudo for the two donations. Really appreciate it, man. And really thank you all for the love and support that you showed to Fireside Giants on the daily. You guys know we do upload daily and we bust our balls to bring you all this great content. And we're really, really supported by you guys. And we're feeling really good and ready and hungry every single day because of the love and support that you guys give us. So thank you so much for that. We're going to be doing live streams once a week now, at least once a week. I'm going to be streaming a whole lot more. I'm usually going to be solo on them, but Alex will definitely join me for a few of them. He's on vacation for the next week or so. Had to get away before baseball season starts, but that's why I want you guys to come on and chat with me. I'll find some guests for the next upcoming live streams as well, though. Maybe I'll talk to Diggy, maybe Chris the Entertainer. These are some guys, we've had on before, so I'll get some guys on. Darius, good night, man. Thanks for the kind words. Have a good one, bro. LeBron is the GOAT. Yeah, Steven. That's an argument now. It's kind of like it reminds me how going into the World Cup, everyone was like, well, if Ronaldo wins it, he could totally be the GOAT. Oh, if Messi wins it, he could totally be the GOAT. Then he won, and everyone was like, yeah, Messi's the GOAT now, right? Messi is the GOAT. And so it's kind of like with LeBron, reaching this mile marker of the most points of all time. Is he now the GOAT? Does he knock off Jordan and take that spot? I mean, that's kind of how I started looking at it, right? Because I don't know, but I think I still side with Jordan just because I like the way he played better. I don't know. I like Jordan more, but also I am a Heat fan, guys. So I did root pretty hardcore for LeBron for a little while there, but I don't know. Also, does anybody else find it so weird how they stopped the game to have a whole ceremony for LeBron James? Like, what was that? Why couldn't they just done that after the game? Like, it was so strange. 10 seconds left in the quarter, and I don't know. It was interesting to me, man. I was like, wow, okay. This was a whole lot in the middle of the third quarter. But shout out LeBron. Really amazing achievement. The fact that he's been doing it for as long as he's been doing it and doing it at the level he's been doing it for this long is utterly ridiculous. It's like really, really impressive. One more chip and he solidifies it. I don't know. Good question, but 6 rings undefeated in the finals. Who else but Jordan, man? It's tough to argue with. But all right, guess we're wrapping the stream up. A little basketball chat there, but again, we'll be back again soon to talk more Giants right here on Fireside Giants. New episodes daily, so stay tuned for tomorrow's upload. There will be one on the channel as always, but live streams coming soon. Again, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss an episode. Later, Danny, and later all of you in the chat. Catch you all on the next one. Have a good one. Let's go Giants.